beautiful beings, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. I am doing mighty fine myself. If this is the first time you're seeing my face, hello. My name is Veladya Chapman and I am a holistic nutritionist and reproductive health guide, an author, many different titles, honestly. And here on Earth Mama Medicine, we make a lot of content around living an eco-friendly, conscious, healthy, plant-based, spiritual life that is rooted in unconditional love. And that is what all of our content is about. We have videos about just about everything. And we would love to have you join the family by hitting that subscribe button down there. So when this video is done, browse the channel and see if you're feeling called to subscribe. We would love to have you. Today's video has been requested for months, probably years, probably since I started social media. People have been asking me for book recommendations. And all of my favorite books have been on my website, but I have had additional requests for me to sit down and go through some of my favorite ones and what I love about them. So today, to save us some time, because I have a lot of books, we're just gonna talk about books that have helped me with my spiritual elevation. And then I'll do another video maybe around books that have helped me with health, books that have helped me with reproductive health or herbs, or comment below what topics you're most interested in and I'll talk to you about my favorite books on those topics. But today we're gonna talk about some spiritual, lovely, self-help type of books. Before we continue, I want to say thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with over thousands of classes in business, design, photography, all sorts of stuff. Premium memberships give you unlimited access so you can join the classes that are just right for you. Whether you want to use it to fuel your creativity or even your career, Skillshare has so many options that you could do either or both. Personally, I have used Skillshare to take a photography class.
This class is Lifestyle Photography by Marie Forsberg.
And it has made a world of difference for me and Matt's social media. As you can see, a lot of these photos have really upgraded from the types of photos we were posting last year. And that's because I finally have been able to learn how to properly use a DSLR camera, how to properly edit, and just how to make things look a little bit more dynamic and pleasing to the eye. So I wanted to share that with all of you because it is extremely valuable, and Skillshare has so graciously offered all of the Earth Mama Medicine followers a 2-month free unlimited access trial. So you can click the link below in the description to get access to your 2-month trial. And then after that, you're looking at about $10 a month. It's really an unbeatable deal. If you do end up trying Skillshare, comment below. I want to see how you all love it. I'm looking to take another course, so I might need some ideas, even though I'm thinking about taking some business classes because I think I could definitely use some formal training in the world of biz. So like I said, don't forget to click that link below, and thank you Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. All right, let's jump right in. I have 6 books here in front of me, and actually there's a 7th book too that for some reason I don't have it in front of me. I don't know where it went, and I guess I'll start off with that one. And it is Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. I have had that book for years, and I was looking in the basement on the bookshelves, upstairs bookshelves. I don't know what happened to it. I must have lent it to a friend or family member. But it's one of those books I have that's like all crinkled up with highlights and sticky notes everywhere because it was the first self-help book I ever picked up. It was that book that finally helped me understand the way my mind works and why people care about meditation and stillness and all these things that to me just seemed boring and seemed kind of torturous at the time. So Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now is just helping you understand from a really rudimentary level how to use the power of the now, the power of the present, and how we as human beings must not forget that the present is the only moment there is. The past is gone, the future does not exist, the present is here. So if we can train ourselves to focus on every moment, to focus on the present more, we can have more peaceful lives. And he discusses meditation and stillness and why meditation is so beneficial, because it helps you learn how to reprogram your mind into not listening to all of the junk that constantly flows in and out of it, constantly flowing in and out, and how to program your mind to be still in the present moment. And it really changed my life. I recommend it to every single person, which is probably why I don't have it here on my shelf anymore, is because I probably gave it out to someone. It's actually one of the smallest books I've ever read. It's really easy to get through, and it probably will be great as a listening book as well because of the way that it's written. I think it'd be a good book to sit and listen to. So if you're not someone that likes to read books, you can get it on a listening service like Audible or one of those things, and I'm sure it would be very helpful to you. Okay, second book is also one of my very, very worn out books. It's got tons of highlights and folded pages and rips and tears because I traveled with this book all over the place. I've taken it everywhere. I've taken it during the entire van life, when I flew overseas, because I've read it many times. This is not Barbara Marciniak's only book, but of her books, this one really, really just hit me in the heartstrings for some reason. So it's called Earth, and the subtitle is Pleiadian Keys to the Living Library. So Barbara Marciniak, the author, is known as a trance channel, meaning she can channel other entities that are not present with us here on Earth. So I know some of you are rolling your eyes like, are you freaking kidding me? I know not everybody has to believe in that stuff. I don't know what they might look like, or I try not to get caught up into the whole political, is it real, is it not, and just experience the text for what it is. I also love Abraham Hicks, which is another person that channels entities outside of Earth, which is called Abraham because that's not actually the woman's name. Let me not go on a rant about Abraham because I love Abraham. But Barbara is channeling the Pleiadians. And I can make a whole nother video about the Pleiadians because it's a long story, but essentially just the very, very small nugget of it is that the Pleiadians are an alien life force that live in the Pleiades up in space. And the Pleiadians have been to Earth, and apparently through Barbara, they have a lot to teach us. Barbara is not the only human on Earth that is getting channeled messages from the Pleiadians. Apparently they talk to and communicate with a lot of humans on Earth, and they want to help us. They want to help us learn how to navigate Earth and learn how to change our timeline around, apparently, so that we have a better turnout, I guess, for how things are going to end. I know that sounds a little daunting. In this book, Earth is referred to as the living library, meaning this planet is actually extremely special in the realm of the universe or space, or in all of this that's happening out there. A lot of people believe that Earth is nothing and that we're just another rock in space, and there's probably 1,000 other Earths out there. But apparently our planet is very important to the galactic system and to all other entities that exist outside of Earth. And that there is a grid system and there is a living library of sacred information that exists here in our plants, rocks, trees, humans, animals, everywhere. Every being and object on this earth has a piece of the living library, has some of that information within it. So in this book, they're discussing how to live the most elevated life as a human being. They're talking about unconditional love. They're talking about Kundalini energy and meditation and eating well and living a life of service. And so you don't really have to play too far into the fact that it's like, it could be a little out there. You could just use this as a guide to living a more spiritual life and a life that's more connected with Earth. Point blank, that's all I'll say about it. If you want to live a life more connected with Earth, I think this book is, so good. I saw this planet in a completely different way after reading this book. And I would like to believe that the Pleiadians are real and that all this stuff in here is real, but either way, it's still such an adventure to read this. So the quote here in the back says, "Awaken, dear friends, within this dream and realize that it is your duty and responsibility as human beings to imagine and visualize a safe world. It will be as you decree, and your own experience will thus reflect it." I love it. because they talk a lot about manifestation and visualization and how much our thoughts create our reality, because it's an energetic world. And oh, just so good, very easy to understand, nothing too crazy, love it. All right, so this next book is called Shifting Your Paradigm for Optimal Health and Longevity. And it's written by Dr. Ushaka Craig. And right here at the bottom it says, a model for African Americans mastering their inner forces. So Dr. Craig did intend for this book to be for people of color. And the reason why is because he sort of establishes our cultural and historical links to foods and why we eat them, and how our bodies are different from those who are European descended, and just individualizing your diet and your lifestyle to reflect that of our ancestors, or to honor our individuality as people of color, because our bodies are different. There have been medical studies that have shown that people of color have thicker bone density than European descended people. And I mean, there's so much information out there. I don't want to go on a rant about that either, but he tells a story of how people from Africa, what they were eating when they were there and when they were happy, and when people started to move over and take them to the Americas and to other countries and other islands, and how moving from the motherland and being spread out changed the way that we ate, the practices that we were doing, the religious practices, the way that we grew food, everything changed. And so he goes and tells the journey from beginning to where we are now, just discusses why we eat the way we do and what foods work better for our bodies based off of what our ancestors were eating. And I read this book at the start of my fascination for nutrition. And that was when I was really into the Black Power side of nutrition. Like, I was only following Dr. Sebi and just making sure I was eating for my blackness. And so if you're someone that is into that and you want to learn from Dr. Craig and hear about how things change from ancestrally to now, then this is a great book for you. So I'm thinking maybe this one could have also gone in the health realm, but that's okay. It's also helped me spiritually. This next book is called Modern Esoteric by Brad Olson. Here it says, The Revolution of Consciousness. I would give this book to somebody who I would say is just waking up, just becoming enlightened, or just becoming conscious. You know what I mean? When someone is becoming woke, I can't stand that word, but they're starting to be more aware of things like meditation and eating healthy and energy and consciousness, and just starting to elevate their lives to care about less of this 3D world and more of what's going on energetically. And in this book, you learn about religion. I mean, it goes through all of the quote unquote conspiracy theories around religion, around sacred geometry, ancient structures. You're learning, I mean, there's like, it teaches you all of these similarities and differences, and we talk about sacred geometry and crop circles and Fibonacci and the flower of life. Things that are a little bit darker, like what you would see in the Zeitgeist documentary, like food control and mind control experiments that were happening back in the day. I don't want to go too far into that. I don't know if YouTube is listening. The rise of cancer and other diseases, and what people think happened in that time. And then you talk about Kundalini. I mean, it really is just like a beginner's guide to waking up. That is the best way I can put it. It's got so much information. Now that I'm looking through it, I actually want, pineal gland suppression, very interesting. I actually do want to go back and read some of these, because a lot of these things I have forgotten. But wow, really valuable stuff in here. Modern Esoteric, Brad Olson. And another book here I have is called Siddhartha, and this is such a pretty version. I have a few versions of this book on the shelf. This is the illustrated edition, so it's got a lot of pretty drawings in it, and I think it'd be like really nice to read to a child, probably, because it's a little bit more stimulating with the illustrations in it. But Siddhartha is an extremely well-known book. I know a lot of you have already read this book or know of this book. It's written by Hermann Hesse. It's a story about the young Brahmin Siddhartha and his journey towards enlightenment. And it's a beautiful story. Matt and I read it out loud together every night until we finished it. And it was just such a lovely little ritual we did. And I recommend everybody to read this at least once. It's a super easy read. It just makes you think a little bit about life and what's important. Second to last book we've got here is called The Artist's Way. The subtitle is A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity. Julia Cameron, the author, is amazing. This book helped me stop overthinking so much about the content that I create and the ideas that I have, and to be more confident to just do things, and how honestly the internet is what messed with my creativity. When I started to get really involved with YouTube and Instagram and just being an online personality, it gets into your head about what people will think and if something's even good, and you compare yourself to so many other artists and creators out there because they're there in the drop of a button. Reading this book healed my creativity in so many ways. Actually, looking at it, I want to read it again. It's a course in discovering and recovering your creative self. I recommend it to everyone, even if you're not a writer or an artist. It says for writers, poets, actors, painters, musicians, and creative people in all walks of life. And I think everybody has creativity within them, and this book can bring it out of you. All right, I feel like I've been talking forever, but last but not least, this is a favorite, and I know a lot of you have seen this little cover here. It is called Be Here Now by Ram Dass, world-renowned man. Beautiful, beautiful man, beautiful soul. And in this book, we learn of Ram's journey. We learn of him starting out being a researcher and researching psychedelics. And then we learn him meeting his guides, meeting his teachers, and moving through to a really, really beautiful, elevated life. And so this book actually has some beautiful illustrations. I wish I could just rip them out and put them, like frame them and put them on my wall, but I would feel like I'm sort of disrespecting this text. Not that it's a holy text or anything, but it is really sacred and special. And there were not a lot of these books printed. Everything is so beautifully illustrated on this craft brown paper, and it's just so sacred. Like this page says, and the fact of the matter is, as you go out on the astral plane, you see more and more. And the final thing you see in the world of form, before you go into the formless and into total unity, you see the world of yin and yang. And the world of yin and yang is another astral plane, and it's one of the highest planes in the world of form, but it's still duality. It is still polarization. There is God, there is man, there is good, there is evil, yes and no, pleasure and pain, loss and gain. The world most everybody is living in most of the time. That's just one of the pages. And he goes to continue on with that idea. But I love this book because it just really makes you think, and I appreciate it. It was also one of the first spiritual books I ever picked up years and years ago, or maybe right after I read The Power of Now. I've read it many times after that, and it always just like makes my heart feel good. So, and it also looks really good on a coffee table. It's big and beautiful. I could leave this out on a coffee table with candles, and I think it would look really nice because of the way the pages are designed. Okay, after all of that, we have come to an end. This is the reason why I only wanted to share 6 or 7 with you today, because these books are all close to my heart and I feel like I could talk for hours about every one of them, so I wanted to save you some time. But let me know what you're most interested in that you think I might know about, of course, and I will pull my books off the shelf and tell you about it. I'll definitely make a video about reproductive health books that have helped me, because I've got a lot of good ones back there, and I've also got a lot of great books when it comes to health and food and herbs and stuff like that. So I'll definitely share more about those. But if you want to find these books, every single one of them will be linked below in the description for you to check out. Oh, and another one that I'm reading right now, that I'm actually listening to right now, is Celestian Prophecy by James Redfield. I know a lot of you are familiar with the Celestian Prophecy. That's also a big life changer book. And for some reason, I just have never read it. So right now I'm listening to it on Audible, and it's just such a wonderful story. It's got me feeling like a little kid every day when I get to turn it on and just dive into this story, but it's also really deep and very transformative. Thank you for watching today's video. Like I said, don't forget to comment your suggestions below, or if you've read any of these, let me know. I know some of these are not very popular, so I'd love to know if you have read them and how you like them and how they changed your life for the better, hopefully. And again, thank you Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget that you have a 2-month unlimited access free trial waiting for you down there in the description. Nothing to lose. So I will see you all in the next video. I'm sending you so much love and peace. And also, there is a surprise coming up with the next video. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but y'all are gonna be really excited. Talk to you later.